Thank you for joining me. This is going to be a tutorial on waffles. Here's just a couple of examples, and then I have pancakes here too, because I thought with the pancake tutorial you could see that you could actually match syrup, so you have pancakes and waffles that match each other. So here are some. You can also do them with regular syrup and a pat of butter. Just slight modifications. So first I'm going to show you how to make your own mold. This is regular Primo ecru. For the mold you could use anything. I just have the ecru out because that's the color we're going to make our waffles. So what I do is take a double pointed knitting needle, and you can do this with any size. It just depends on how big or small you want your waffles. And I place some indents going one direction. And I'm making this kind of big so you can see it better, but you could make it much smaller. If you want it teeny tiny, you could even use a safety pin to create your squares. But I do 3 stripes one direction, 3 stripes the other direction. And I'll show you this standing up in a moment so you can see it. So from here, oh, I need one more time. There we go. So I made this one really big. So you can see that you have 3 sets of squares, 3 rows of them. From here, to finish off the mold, I would go at the farthest edge of the indent on each side. This way. And this is like a mold in reverse. This is more like a stamp than a mold. So here you have your mold. What you do is you cook this and bake it so it hardens. That's bigger than I usually do. Here's 2 sizes. I've already made this charm size. So there we go. After you have your mold, you take some ecru. I'm going to put a little bit of flour on it. That helps texture it. And I'll show you that. So I sprinkle on a little flour and I rub it in circles. This helps keep the mold from sticking to it. And this is actually one of those good projects that if you want several waffles, you can make several at a time really easily, since you have a stamp. So after I do that, I take my little stamp and I press down, lift it up, and move on. Press down. You want to try to press evenly so your indentions are even on the top and the bottom. So as you can see, you can make 4 waffles right there, and there's plenty of room. You could have them pretty close to each other, so it will give you lots of waffles. And then I'll cut one of these out. You want to have a little bit of a raised edge around your waffles. I'm going to cut on the far side so you guys can see what I mean. I like this one better. There we go. I just twist and cut, twist and cut, trying to get them as even as possible. There we go. So that, my friends, is your waffle. Not too difficult. But I don't like my waffles with a completely square, sharp corner. So I press gently, twist, press gently, and then I'll continue doing that till I have soft rounded corners. And so the corners of your waffle are softer. Now you get to decide whether you want it toasty or not. I'll show you the difference. I did two here. The one on the left has no color on it and just goes straight to the syrup from where we are. This other color is toasted. I just wanted you to see a difference because sometimes the dessert waffles look good untoasted too. Just wanted to show you the difference. Now, I've created some pastel dust in the background of the yellow ochre, the rust, and the brown. For those of you who have not made the pastel dust before, I'll make a little bit here for you so you can see. Okay, and I'm going to take my yellow ochre and I'm going to paint the waffle, give it a nice golden look, and I try to get the edges as well so the edges are the same nice golden color. Then I'm going to add a little bit of that rust color. And I'm really trying to get it more on the raised edges than the inside of the squares. So now it's pretty toasty. You can even add a little bit of the brown if you wanted part of it to look a little bit more toasty. So there we go. From here we're going to make the syrup, and we're going to do blueberries. The strawberry waffles had canes. These are 2 strawberry canes. I just took 2 slices of strawberry and I laid them on the syrup. I'll show you the whipped cream too. The whipped cream, you want to take just white polymer clay and you put it into a frosting tip. This is a star shaped and it's a number 16, and you can feed it through a clay extruder. That's what I do. Or you could take a blunt end of one of your tools, or even if you have a very wide bottom not toothbrush, a paintbrush, and you can push and force it through, and that will start bringing it out. With this kind of project, it's fine because you use just a tiny bit on your pancakes. But if you're doing a lot of things at one time with frosting, you're going to want to get a clay extruder eventually. For the blueberries, I take purple and dark blue and mix it. I roll 3 tiny little balls. And depending on how tiny they are, you can add more depending on what you like. Okay, so from here, I'm going to take some eggplant powdered food coloring. I'm going to show you that. And that's because usually blueberry syrups have quite a bit of purple to them. I mix it into some TLS. And you may want to cook a tiny test drop in your pan to see if it's the right color. But once you have the right color, you just paint your waffle. You let some drip down the sides. I would do this in my baking pan. The TLS is good for this. The Fimo is a little bit thin. You can do it with that, but it is a little thin. I put a few little blueberries in there. I usually have one along the side dripping in some sauce. And then with that frosting we just made, I cut out a tiny bit with my clay knife. I twist it and I put it on the back of the waffle. So from here you would bake your waffles, and then you would add glaze. to your final piece. So that is a nice blueberry waffle. So there we go. I hope that you enjoyed this. You could make them larger or smaller easily by changing what you make the stamp with, whether it's a safety pin or whether it is a double-pointed needle like I used. You could use needle tools. So I hope that you enjoy this. These are nice charm size. If you're wanting to make them a charm after you cook them, I like to put the hole right behind the whipped cream there, and I just force it through, being very gentle not to stab yourself. And there you go. You can see that it goes all the way through. After you wait for a few minutes, I spin it, I pull it off, and I stick in a head pin. So there you go. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you want more tutorials, please subscribe. Go ahead and thumbs up if you like this tutorial. Go ahead and feel free to leave me comments. We're getting to the end of the breakfast. I'm going to try to do a few more breakfast. And in the meantime, I'm also going to do the new nail art, which is chocolate squares. In the sun, you can really see all the indents of the chocolate. This is a graham cracker. You could see that in the sun very well. The lighting is a little off here, so it's harder to see. So there we go. There's another graham cracker with chocolate and marshmallow. And then this was actually done by my nail artist who made dripping marshmallow. So there we go, a little s'mores theme. Please let me know what other types of stuff you guys would like to see. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.